One of the most challenging things that you can do in middle school is try to keep yourself organized. We've talked about creating folders and how to organize files on your desktop to make things easier. Today I'm going to show you a new tool to help keep yourself organized, and that's something called Google Keep. To start a Google Keep, the first thing I need to do is I need to go to the website address keep.google.com. And this is what it looks like. Google Keep is a free tool that you can use to set up your own shared notes and reminders. So essentially the way it works is you have a notes section over here. All I have to do is click and I can go ahead and start making a note. So let's say I'm in a social studies class and I want to go ahead and start taking notes in that social studies class. I can go ahead and just start typing in my own notes as I go through it. So let's say I wanted to add a link to my note. I can go ahead and go to a new tab and do a search for, and if I find some information that I want to use, I could simply copy that link, Command C, and go in and paste those links directly into it. It highlights them so I can save those for later. I also have the ability to add images. I can choose any picture that I have on my computer that I would want to add into my note. And then when I'm done with my note, I can go ahead and hit done, and then that note has been created. A couple other things I can do with these notes. First of all, I can color code them. So if I want to, I can click on this little palette here and give all of my notes in a certain subject area, maybe at the same color. I can also click on this little three dots here, and I have an option that I can add what they call labels. So I could maybe make a label called Social Studies, and that anytime I have a Social Studies note that I've created, maybe this note isn't on American Revolution or Social Studies, maybe I just want to call it American Revolution notes, and I'm keeping track. Maybe I even put the date in there, and I take notes of everything we covered in class, and then I've tagged it or labeled it with the word Social Studies. Now that Social Studies label shows up over here, and anytime I click on Social Studies, it'll show me all of my Social Studies notes in one place. Now I can add as many notes as I want, and notes can be a variety of things. So I could make a things to do tonight note. So for example, I could simply type in things that I have to do tonight, or if I want to, I have an option here with this little three dots that I can have it show checkboxes. So I could create my own to-do lists right within this note. So if I have to take out the trash and pack my backpack, right, I could make my own list of different notes here, and again I could still color code them however I want, and I could either keep or remove or change labels. If I wanted to add a new label or just turn off that label, I can. Now if I go to notes, this will show me all the notes. If I click on Social Studies, this will only show me my Social Studies notes that I have labeled. Now when I have a to-do list, all I simply have to do is check the boxes and it'll cross these things off for me. The other thing I can do with notes is I can attach reminders to them. So if I wanted to make sure I reminded myself to do these things, I could do that. So I could give it a certain date or time that these things would be reminded, and I could click and choose. Same thing with time, or I could choose a custom time. So let me type in and then hit save, and it has created a reminder. Now it does tell me, hey, if I want these reminders to show up, I may need to turn on my browser notifications. So I can say turn on. It says, hey, do you want to allow it to pop up with notifications? I say allow. And then now whenever a notification is popped up, it will pop up in my browser and tell me on my computer whenever I have something I need to do. The other really cool thing that I can do with notes is I can collaborate or share notes. So if I've created a note in Google Keep, I can go ahead and click on collaborators, and I can invite anyone who I want to share in this note. And once I do, when they go to the Google Keep, they will see these shared notes on their end, and you can both work on the same note at the same time. So maybe you're collaborating or brainstorming information for a project, or maybe you have a to-do list for a group work project that you have to put together. One person could create a to-do list, share it with the other members of the group, and then everyone can collaborate, add things, or check things off whenever you have finished them. And it looks like I've received my notification. So here I have a message that popped up and it says things to do tonight. This is my notification that I had set, and it just went off, and I could either click on it and go into it or dismiss it because it has successfully reminded me. Another cool thing I can do with any note is if I click on those same three dots, I have the ability to copy any note to a Google Doc. So maybe I start off with maybe a rough draft of something I'm thinking, and then once I'm ready to actually start typing on a paper, I could take that information, say copy it to a Google Doc. It will take everything I have, put it in a doc. I can tell it to open up that doc, and here is a now live editable Google Doc with the exact same information that I had in my note. I still have my note in Google Keep if I need to go back, but it stores all that for me. Now I can also organize my notes. I can rearrange by dragging and dropping. I have the ability to pin notes, which will make the most important and stay up at the top here when I want. I can pin or unpin. I also have the ability in my notes that I can go ahead and view them as a list view, which stack one on top of another, or I can go to grid view, which gives me more individualized notes that I can drag and drop and move around. Now, if I really like Keep and I want to make sure I keep, I could go ahead and save this bookmark to my bookmarks bar. Or if I click on my little Google waffle up here with my little icons, if I click on here, it shows me all the different Google apps that I have. I can add a shortcut for Google Keep directly into there, so it'll always be accessible. As soon as I go into Drive or go into my Google account, I can simply click on that and click on Keep, and it'll take me right back to Keep. And one of the coolest things about Google Keep is, as awesome as it is, that allows you to organize everything, and it does it all right here within one little tab or window. One of my favorite things about it is they have a free mobile phone app. So if you are blessed enough to have a smartphone that has an app store, you can download for Android or iOS the Google Keep app. So if I wanted to get the Google Keep app, all I have to do is go to my app store. I can do a search for Google Keep, and the icon looks like this with the little light bulb. Once I install the app, now that my app is installed, I can go ahead and open it up. And all I'm going to have to do to get started is I'm going to log in with my school account. So once I log in with that school account, then anything that I've created in the computer version of Google Keep will automatically show up on here. And so if I wanted to, I could click on a note, I could pin notes to the top. It gives me hints and reminders, and I can check things off in here, and then those things will then be checked off on the computer side as well. A couple other really cool things that I get if I have the phone app is I have the ability to record audio. So if I hit the microphone in the app, I have to give Google access to my microphone, and I can record audio notes if I want. Test 1 2, test 1 2. And it will convert my text to speech and automatically give me the speech saved in an audio note. And I can also take pictures right from my camera, or choose pictures from my camera roll and add those directly to a note as well. Again, give it access to my camera, hit OK, take a picture, say I want to use it, and then that picture gets added to a note. And now when I go back to my computer, I can see that the notes that I've added from my phone have synced and automatically popped up here. So here is my Test 1, 2, test 1, 2 with a little audio recording. If I wanted to download and play that audio, I can. And here's the picture that I took on my mobile device. And so that is a little overview on Google Keep.